Hello Hungry fam, my name is Akansha and welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to cook and eat only red color food for 24 hours. Before starting the video, like, share and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also click on the bell icon to get all the post notifications. For breakfast, I'm going to make red velvet waffles and these are all the ingredients we will need. In a blender, I added half cup each of raw beetroot, half cup curd, granulated sugar and 1/4 cup of oil. You can use melted butter as well and blend it into smooth consistency. Now strain this mixture to avoid any lumps. Add 1 teaspoon vanilla essence. Whisk, then add all the dry ingredients. 1 cup all-purpose flour, that is maida. 1 tablespoon cocoa powder. Half teaspoon baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon baking soda and a pinch of salt. Whisk it all together. Now the batter kind of looks magenta in color, but I guess after cooking it will turn into red. Grease the waffle machine with oil, then spread the batter all over it and let it cook for 5 minutes. I tried making waffle twice, but the machine is just not ready to work. The waffle actually is pretty good and fluffy, but it's getting stuck from both the sides. I guess I've ruined this waffle machine trying all these weird hacks, especially the Skittle hack. But thankfully I have a backup. Now I'm going to grease a waffle silicone mold with oil. I'm not left with much batter, so hopefully I can make at least one waffle. Fill 3/4 of the mold and bake it for 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. After cooling it down for 5 minutes, let's demold the waffle. Wow, that comes out very easily and looks perfectly red. I'm going to cut it into half and garnish it with honey. I know honey is not red, but the waffle will absorb all the honey, so technically it will be red. Let's taste it now. Wow, that is super fluffy and airy. It's crispy from the edges, which I really like. It doesn't even need the honey. It's that soft. I can't taste the beetroot at all and tastes just like a normal red velvet. In fact, even better. I'm just missing some cream cheese icing over it. But it's fine. You can also make cake or cupcake with the same batter. So definitely try out this recipe and I'm going to rate our breakfast a 9.5 on 10. After a sweet breakfast, I feel like having a spicy lunch. So I'm going to make dragon paneer with chili, naan or roti. You can call whatever you want. Now these are the ingredients for making dragon paneer. Let's start with making corn flour slurry. In a bowl, I'm adding half cup of maida and half cup of corn flour. That add 1 teaspoon each of salt and black pepper powder. Now add 3/4 cups of water to make it a semi-thick slurry. Now dip the paneer which I've cut lengthwise. Coat it properly with the corn flour slurry and deep fry for 3 to 4 minutes and keep it aside. Also don't keep the paneer directly on a tissue paper, it will become soggy. So always place it on a wire rack. For the gravy, in the pan add 1 tablespoon oil, 8 red chilies. Normally I add 4 red chilies and 4 green chilies, but we can't use any greens, so I'm using the spicy ones. Then add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Saute for a minute. Then add 1 sliced onion and 1/4 cup of julienne red bell pepper. Saute for 2 to 3 minutes. Then add 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon red chili powder. Now I'm adding half cup of homemade Szechuan sauce. The recipe link will be in the description box below. Definitely check it out. Now add 1 teaspoon of soy sauce and 1 tablespoon ketchup. Then I'm adding the deep fried paneer and mix it all together. Wow, that looks so amazing. You can have it like this only, but I'm going to make it more saucy. So I'm adding half cup of water and 1 to 2 tablespoons of the corn flour slurry we made earlier. Let it cook for 5 minutes until it thickens a bit. Our dragon paneer is ready. Let's start with making the roti. In a bowl, add 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half teaspoon salt and half teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. Mix and add half cup of water and knead it into a soft dough. It was turning orange, so I added more Kashmiri powder, but it's not turning red. But I guess we'll fix that later. Now add 1 teaspoon oil and knead it for more 5 minutes. Take a small portion of the dough and roll it flat. Again, add 1 teaspoon oil and half teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. Spread it out evenly on one side and fold it. Again, roll it flat. I try to make it as round as possible, but yes, shape doesn't matter at all. Add oil and flip it. Look how beautifully it's fluffing up. It slightly looks orange on camera, but it's proper red. Let's taste it now. The roti is so soft. I'm going to have it with paneer. Wow, the paneer is so good. It's crispy from the outside and very soft and melts in your mouth. It's spicy and tangy. Yes, it's an odd combination to eat Chinese with roti, but I personally like it. Initially, I was going to make Szechuan rice, but I'm going to have rice for dinner, so I'm skipping it for now. So I'm going to rate our lunch a 9 on 10. For dinner, I'm going to make the most requested recipe, that is tteokbokki or spicy rice cake. And these are the ingredients. For the rice cake, in a bowl add 1 cup rice flour and 1 teaspoon salt. Then add 1 cup of water. Mix it all together. After mixing, you will get a sticky dough. We have to steam this dough for 12 to 15 minutes in a steamer. Remove the dough on a chopping board, and now is the most important and fun part. Add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil on the dough and pound the dough with a pestle. I don't know what's it called in Hindi, but in Marathi we call it khalbatta. You will have to keep pounding it for nice 8 to 10 minutes and you will get a beautiful glutinous rice dough. Then using your palm, form it into a dough. Divide it into 4 equal parts and roll out one of the part into a cylindrical shape like so. Again, cut it into 4 equal parts. Similarly, make cylinders out of all the dough. All the rice cylinders should be of the same size, so just cut out any excess. Now, in boiling water which is seasoned with oil and salt, add the rice cylinders we made and let it cook for 8 to 10 minutes. Remove it out and let it cool down completely. Then you can store it in a Ziploc bag for up to a month in the freezer, or you could use it immediately as well. For the tteokbokki sauce, I'm making a spicy paste with half cup of gochujang. I'll upload its recipe as YouTube shorts on Thursday at 1 PM. That add 1 teaspoon brown sugar and 1 tablespoon of Korean red pepper flakes. Mix it and keep it aside. In a pan, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 teaspoon garlic, 1 sliced onion and 1 cup mushroom. Saute for a minute. Then I'm adding 1 Maggi stock cube and 2 cups of water. This is actually my quick veg version. Traditionally, it's made with anchovies, kombu and the red chili paste we made. I wanted to use veg stock for this, but I actually forgot. So using Maggi stock cube is like a jugaad here. Once it gets a boil, add half cup of soy sauce and the spicy paste we made. Then add the rice cakes and let it cook for 5 to 10 minutes or until you get a thick sauce consistency like so. Our tteokbokki is ready. I'm going to garnish it with red pepper flakes. Let's taste it now. Wow, just look at that. Looks perfectly red and so delicious. My mouth is literally watering even while eating. It's that good. The rice cake melts in your mouth. It's spicy, sour, sweet. You get everything in just one bite. Absolutely loved it. All the Korean fans out there, you should definitely try this. It's very easy, very quick. Definitely, I'm going to rate it a perfect 10 on 10. So the plan for dessert was to make beetroot panna cotta, which didn't turn out red, but I know it tastes really good. So let me know if you want a recipe. I would love to upload it. Coming back to the plan B, I'm going to make watermelon delight, and these are all the ingredients. First, blend 2.5 cups of watermelon in a mixer. Now strain the juice. I've removed the seeds, but this is to be double sure that there are no seeds in it. Keep the juice aside and make a thick corn flour slurry with 1/4 cup of corn flour and 2 tablespoons water. Add 2 cups of watermelon juice in a pan. To that, add half cup of sugar. If the watermelon is not that sweet, you can add more sugar. Whisk till the sugar melts. Then add the corn flour slurry we made and keep stirring until it thickens up. Grease a rectangular or a square tray with oil. Then add the watermelon mixture and let it set in the refrigerator for 4 to 5 hours. The trial batch I made was way more red in color for some reason, but it's fine. This batch also looks perfectly set. Okay, spoke too soon. One side became a bit more icy, that's why it broke, but it's fine. Let's demold the other batch and cut it into squares. Wow, it is so wobbly and jelly-like. It has a beautiful shine. Let's dig into it now. You can clearly see the texture. It is so good. It melts in your mouth. The watermelon flavor is so delicious. It's perfectly sweet and very light. The only drawback here is I added less corn flour. That's why it melts within 10 minutes if you keep it outside. But other than that, the dessert was really nice and I'm going to rate it an 8 on 10. Try these delicious and mouth-watering red recipes and let me know your feedback. Today's shout out goes to Tia Mittal, Rekha Chauhan and Brynmay Kamre. If you want a shout out, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and comment on this video telling me that you have. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more amazing videos.